Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome, people, to episode 204 of Dude and the Monkey. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Ian Loring. I've got a beer, I'm in bed, I've got my duvet on, this is amazing. I am ready to rock. More people need to podcast in bed.
You do sound like you're quite far away, though. I'm going to say that now.
I'm gonna bring my microphone right back. How's this shit?
That's fine, yeah. You just sound like you're quite far away. More people do need to podcast in bed. I was in bed about 10-15 minutes ago, and then I actually got up and got redressed to podcast, which Isabel said, "Why are you getting dressed to podcast?"
Yes.
And my response was, "I can't talk to Ian dressed like this."
Yes, you can. You can talk to me in whatever state you want. I got a dressing gown on. I got some boxers on. I'm all good, man. I did a bit of indoor cycling. Lottie was wondering why the hell I was indoor cycling in the lounge. It was great. You know, I had old Man United Chelsea on my phone. It was amazing. It was brilliant. All over it. And what a result. Holy shit. We're right back in it.
That is a good result for you guys, yeah. Yeah, it is. A bad result for my boys, but a good result for yours.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, in the end of the day, I think Liverpool can end the season strong. I think after this, United can hopefully end the season strong. We still got to play City. It's, Arsenal. I fucking pray Arsenal slip up tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. It's an exciting end to the season, man. And if Spurs actually manage to do it, then amazing.
It is interesting. I still don't think Chelsea are gonna.
Neither do I. But
Chelsea are gonna win it. What's going to be interesting is no matter what the result of the Man United Man City game is beneficial to us, because if you drop points, we benefit. If Man City drop points, we benefit, and if you draw and you both drop points, we benefit. So for once I can watch that game going, don't care.
It's just Arsenal can fuck off, and Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Spurs, fine.
Yeah,
that'll be fine. That. I mean, not in that order necessarily. I think United will probably be fourth, but whatever. Do well in the Europa League, and I'll call that a season.
Yeah, I'm very much in the camp of I don't care at the moment. All I want is for us to get top four.
Yeah.
We've actually got more of a normal show than we were expecting this week, weren't we? Yes. We were going to be doing the final part of our James Franco Don't Give a Fuck, or Franco Don't Give a Fuck, or the Frankathon, or whatever we were going to call it. And then neither of us got to into the bar, did we?
Yeah, no. I mean, I'll be straight up and honest. I got an email from Virgin Media in the last couple of weeks basically saying, it might not be you, but someone accessing your network downloaded a copy of Why Him?
Why Him?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Franco.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And, just watch it. It might not be you, but, just keep an eye on it. It might not be you, but it's probably you. So, this is a warning. Stop it. So, Interior Leather Bar is not legally available in the UK digitally, by the looks of it. I actually haven't had a look to see if there's a DVD, because I bet if there's a DVD, it's like a penny and new and used on Amazon.
Yeah.
But let's have a look. Right. DVD is... it's only £5.49. Okay, there is a DVD copy for £5.49 on Amazon. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I might pick that up then. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna be... I mean, certain people have talked about VPNs and stuff, and it's just it's so easy to watch stuff legally these days.
It is, yeah. That's the thing. It is. There's so much out there, and I think the other bit is we cover so much on the podcast, and we cover so much VOD, anyway. And the thing is, if we're covering something on the podcast, VOD, it usually means we're not going to the cinema. So, although, I could, if I wanted to get it on, what is it? If I can pay for it, I will pay for it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
The things that I may occasionally torrent will be often all the stuff that I know that I've got up in my loft on DVD, but I want to watch at that point. And it's kind of like, well, hang on a minute. I've bought it. So, but I honestly, and I can hand on my heart say this, I can't remember the last time I watched something that I downloaded. Not legally.
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much there as well. I mean, it's a ball ache to convert stuff to iPhone compatible files as well, just in that. But we got Donna a new photography PC this week, and uTorrent's not going anywhere near it. And I think that's also good because then I'm not going to be going on Pirate Bay proxies, which is probably downloading all sorts of fucking weird shit in the background that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Which was I think was contributing to the slowdown of our old PC. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I'll pick up a copy of Interior Leather Bar on DVD, and then that'll be in my purchase history, which will be fun.
Yes, it will.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe we'll cover it next week. It'll be whenever. I do want to see it though, that's the thing. I'm intrigued by that fucking film.
Yes.
So, yeah, but anyway, we're moving on.
Yes, so moving on, we're going to be covering the Fate of the Furious, or Fast and Furious 8, or Fast 8, or Fate.
Fate, as we bloody named it 2 years ago.
We did indeed, and yet further proof that Vin Diesel does listen to the podcast. Hello, Vin. So, yes, I'm looking forward to chatting that. Sadly, we're not going to be joined by Mr. Noel Mellor on this show. We were possibly going to, but he has a new baby, so he's got new baby shit to be doing rather than chatting to us fools. We're also going to chat some trailers, chat some what we've been watching. We didn't do any what we've been watching last week because we did the Sunshine commentary, which I jolly well enjoyed, to be honest. So we hope you enjoyed listening to it. And we've got a couple of questions as well out there from you wonderful listeners, so we'll have plenty to talk about, I'm sure. Indeed. So Ian, trailers, there has been a few biggies, hasn't there? Yeah, so I'll let you crack on, and I shall interject as and the when.
So it kind of got boring through the course of the week last week to talk about it, but Thor Ragnarok looks brilliant. That looks cracking. I've maintained for a while now that Marvel let their directors put more of themselves into their films than people seem to give them credit for. James Gunn, very much all over Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Kenneth Branagh brought a lot of himself to Thor. Joe Johnston, very much kind of old school sensibility to Captain America First Avenger. Joss Whedon with the First Avengers. Yes, there have been some misnomers there, even though then again, For the Dark World, directed by Game of Thrones' Alan Taylor, and yeah, that felt pretty grey and muddy and
TV.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, like cinematic TV. This looks mental. It just looks really offbeat, and I think that without Guardians being the success it was, I don't think you'd have this like this.
It is a little bit Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of Thor's Galaxy.
Yes, but he's a friend from work. I mean, it's great. That is genuinely inspired, and I hadn't heard of that when I watched the trailer just as it kind of came up. Fucking brilliant. Great, really, really good. After a week of people referencing it on Twitter, maybe not so much, but that's not the trailer's fault. But, that's just because I'm a miserable bastard. But, yeah, no, very much looking forward to it. Jeff Goldblum looks great. The fucking title treatment is amazing. It's very, very up particular streets, I think. They've very much got some goodwill with this trailer, I think.
Yeah, I certainly think they have. Yeah, I was less enthused than many, to be honest. I think. I think everyone was saying how amazing it was, and I watched it and went, okay, that was funny. The he's a friend from work bit, kind of ruined by everybody mentioning it before, but you know, it is only a trailer. But yeah, I don't know. I think I need to rewatch it. And I did actually say this when we were talking about when on a little WhatsApp thing when everyone was kind of chatting about it and saying how much they enjoyed it and everything like that. I kind of just I thought all I'm going to contribute here to this is I think I need to watch it again. Because it didn't do it for me, and I haven't actually watched it again. But I really think I should, because I was having a bad day when I watched it, and it's never good to watch things like that when you're having a bad day. Because instead of looking at it and going, yeah, that's funny, that's good, I'm looking forward to that, I was going, fuck off, you fucking Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. Alright, yeah, very good, I've heard that on Twitter, fucking brilliant. So I think it was just, I think it's more my fault, not the trailer's fault, certainly.
Okay.
I'm more likely to be wrong than the trailer.
Well, we'll see. I'll let you talk about the one that I think you're probably most excited about this week. So I'll just talk about The Last Jedi, which poster's better than the trailer. You know, like the outpouring of OMG around it on Good Friday, I thought was a bit. There's nothing even touching Chewie, we're home. Just for pure, like, nerd baiting. Yeah, I mean, Luke saying that he thinks it should be the end of the Jedi, I think it's totally just going to be like, you can't, there are shades of grey, it's not just Jedi.
It's not the end of the Jedi. It's that the thing is that it's such a it's the trailer form of fucking Superman's dead. It's not.
I mean, I think
it's not going to be.
I think it's going to be that there are shades of grey. That they're you know, like with Rogue One, sometimes people have to do bad things to achieve a greater end. And I think that's gonna be the idea here. But it is such a baiting. I agree with that. It's such a boom. Everyone talk about this for the next 6 months. That you know, and like, to be fair, given the amount of articles and shit that have been posted, yeah, probably. But I don't know. I mean, there's some nice shots in it, but that's what you get when you spend $200 million on a film, or however much they spent. It's just, I don't know. It's really, 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 really early days, and this trailer didn't really say anything. It didn't say anything.
No, that
last bit.
That's it. It's the thing is, when we chat about trailers, we chat about trailers to sort of say whether we know what excited us about them or anything like that. And I think it's kind of wrong in a way to then to criticise a trailer, because it's the Star Wars trailers are a little bit redundant because people are going to see it anyway.
Yeah.
It's. I get why they're having anything like that, but it's just they don't need to in a Star Wars. They don't need to in a Star Wars trailer try and get you to go and watch it. You're already going to go and watch it. They just need to show you a little bit of it. That's it. Just have a trailer. That's it. So put it on TV so that the people who aren't constantly looking for when it's out know, new Star Wars is out. There we go. That's all they need to do for a trailer. So it's a little bit kind of, it doesn't need to tickle the balls, and it didn't for me, to be honest. But then again, I'm kind of looking at it from the outside, and everybody seems to be getting really excited about it. So what I was kind of wondering was, is there some bits I'm missing here? Is the reason why all of these people who were at this Star Wars convention thing were literally shitting their pants and rubbing it in their faces? They were that excited about this trailer. Am I missing loads of sort of iconography and bits from bits that isn't there, or was it just that that looking at it and going, oh my god, it's new Star Wars. Look, it's Luke. It doesn't need to be amazing. It just needs to exist, essentially.
Yeah, no, pretty much. I mean, and as I say, the poster is so much better than the trailer. Like,
the poster's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fucking... I mean, it's derivative, but it's a fucking great image. I mean, hero pose, Rey, lightsaber up in the air. You know, that's great. I mean, I'll be honest, I thought the face on the right was Rey. Again, for way, way longer than I should have before realising it was Adam Driver. I thought she had really messy hair and she was, like, sweaty. I genuinely, like, that took me a while. But, yeah, you know, I mean, we'll see. It's, I know they're going to double down on Rey and Luke on this one, but I really hope we get some solid Oscar Isaac, John Boyega stuff going on as well. I want them back together again, because the brief time they're together in The Force Awakens is brilliant, and I want more of that.
I've just noticed what you were saying. I thought it was Rey as well.
Yeah, it's Adam Driver, isn't it? It is. When you say it's Adam Driver, it's totally Adam Driver. It's like the time I called the girl in the cinema a man, and then as soon as the light hit her face, it was like, oh yeah, you're a girl.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So Star Wars Fashion Day. Glad Star Wars fans are very excited.
Totally. I don't want to be like a minge-faced joy assassin, to coin a Mike term. Like, yes. I genuinely don't. It's just that trailer is not as good as a lot of the other Star Wars marketing has been, including the poster that came out the same day.
Yeah. Yes. Any other trailers?
I just want... actually, fucking hell, what's it called? Detroit.
Detroit, yes. Yeah.
Speaking of John Boyega, fuck yeah, man. This looks like a kind of like Assault on Precinct 13, but real.
Yeah, it is. It's from one of my sort of favourite directors, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
All over it, just all over it. It's interesting that it's getting a summer release.
Yeah.
Like,
but then again, apart from September or October, where do you place this? That's the thing.
Well, I mean, it's a socially charged kind of thing. I mean, they could like proper November, December it if they wanted to, but like, I think Annapurna are going for the dollar rather than the prestige, maybe, with that kind of release date, which is cool by me. You know what I mean? Like, not every film needs to be Oscar chasing, but I'm kind of surprised because this director, this subject matter, kind of feels like it should be. But
it does look a little bit like that, like it's made me snort, is it? And Will Poulter, fuck.
Yeah.
That guy picks interesting.
He's got a good agent.
Yeah, he's got a good agent. He's got a good eye. But you think about him, he started in Son of Rambo, didn't he? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, he's from a very young age. He's always kind of gone really quite interesting, but you know.
Well, I mean, he was almost Pennywise, wasn't he? When
he was almost Pennywise. He was casted as Pennywise. He's going to be in the in Detroit. I think he's also in the new David Michon film.
Oh, really?
Which I think is the Netflix War Machine.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah. So he's in that, and obviously he's in this. Very good American accent.
Yeah, no, I mean, he had a good American accent in We're the Millers as well, but it's good. I mean, good on him though. He seems to be branching out, and fair play.
He's running his face a little bit as well.
Sorry? Oh yes, yeah.
Which isn't a criticism, but he has mentioned it before that he has I haven't seen an interview with him, and he said that he has a character actor's face, and the interviewer kind of said, "Oh, what do you mean?" In quite an innocent sort of response, and he went, "I'm not a good-looking man."
Oh, bless him.
and Sean went, "Oh, no, you're not a bad-looking guy." And he went, "You don't have to be nice to me. I'm rich."
Really? That's good. I mean, he's not a 10. He's not a 2.
No, he's not.
He's like a 6, a 6.5. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
He's an interesting. He's one of those ones where when he hits 40, he's gonna find his groove, and people are gonna go, "Ooh, he's quite hot actually." Yeah. He's one of those. But I remember the interview and thinking, do you know what? That's such a fucking cool answer.
Good on him.
Yes, and for me, the big trailer.
To be fair, I think maybe for me as well. Like, you fucking WhatsApped this to me the other day.
Yeah.
And then the poster came out, and it was like, this is quintessential Dude and a Monkey, I think.
It is, isn't it? The Hitman's Bodyguard, starring Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, yeah. The when I Will Always Love You kicks in that trailer, I was just going, do you know what? Yeah, just I cannot wait for this movie. And then when the fucking poster came out, if nobody's seen the poster, if you're listening now and you haven't seen the poster for the Hitman's Bodyguard, it's not fan made. That is the actual poster. So just quickly Google it, listeners. It is essentially the blue hue, the font, the same tagline and everything from The Bodyguard, but it is Ryan Reynolds carrying Samuel L. Jackson.
Never let him out of your sight. Never let your guard down. Never fall in love. It's exceptional. And it's directed by Patrick. Fucking Gary Oldman's in it, righto.
Gary Oldman's in it, yeah.
And it's directed by Patrick Hughes, director of Red Hill and The Expendables 3. So,
yeah.
You know, it's going to be competent action as well, but at the very least.
Yeah, because I mean, The Expendables 3, you know, the action was fantastic. I thought, you know, even Stallone says it's you know, Stallone still maintains that his favourite of the Expendables movies is the first one, but he says that the best looking and the best set pieces are in the third one.
Yeah, I go with that. I quite want to rewatch Expendables 3 actually. I might do that at some point. But
I think I might. I remember we both really quite enjoyed it. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. Certainly more so than 2. Yeah. This looks like a boatload of fun.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's taking anything in this fucking film seriously. I want to see Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson in a comedy buddy movie. And that's what I'm going to get. So
yeah, that's it. Those guys are perfect foil for each other.
Yeah, I mean it's a great trailer. I mean it seems to be in exactly what it says on the tin kind of thing, and let the Rai Renaissance continue. Good on him.
Yes, absolutely. So the main event. There was no other trailers you had to chat, was there?
No, I think I'm good.
Cool. The main event, Fate of the Furious, I think, as we are going to call it. Is that what we're calling it? Fate of the Furious? We have to get this right.
The title card says Fast and Furious 8. I think, again, like, they do this. Like, in the US and the UK, it's known as different things. So, like, I think it is Fast and Furious 8 over here, but it's Fate of the Furious in the US. The title card definitely said Fast and Furious 8.
Well, I'm calling it Fate of the Furious.
I'm calling it Fate of the Furious as well, because they keep on talking about fate in the fucking film.
Yes. It is directed by F. Gary Gray. Stars, as if I need to go through this, but I'm going to. Vin Diesel, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, Natalie Emmanuel, Kurt Russell, Charlize Theron's there, and Scott Eastwood turns up. It is the highest opening weekend movie of all time, beating Force Awakens.
What? Oh, internationally. Yeah, no, it is, isn't it? Yeah,
internationally it is. It has grossed already £532 million in its opening weekend, which means that already it has made its budget back.
Yeah, I mean it's doing over $1 billion. It's just
it is. And
it's got 2 weeks. It's got 2 weeks, and then like kind of dust. Like you've got Guardians in 2 weeks. That's gonna swallow everything up. But Furious 7 did about 1.5 billion. This doesn't get there,
No,
but
it
it gets over 1 billion.
It gets over 1 billion, and that's kind of what they're aiming for. It was a different. I think they're looking at the fact that 7 had
no one
draw.
died.
Yeah,
You
had a certain draw to it that this one doesn't as much. So if it makes less, they're not going to consider it a flop, and they're not going to go, oh fuck it, we won't bother making 9 and 10. 9 ain't going to happen. 9 and 10 will get made no matter what. If the next one makes £1, 9 and 10 will still get made.
Yeah.
So yes. Well, the story of the film is we start the film in Havana, where Letty and Tom are now residing, because they always reside in a different place at the start of every movie.
Yeah.
We get the standard, has to be there, Fast and Furious drag race, essentially. Street race. So we get that done and out of the way, which I think was quite interesting in the fact that is, right, there you go. We've given you the girls, we've given you the race, boom, the movie starts now. Literally, the movie starts now, because you've had all the bits, and then you get the actual title of the movie comes up after that race has gone, and it is, bang, here you go, the movie now starts, and Dom gets introduced to Charlize Theron's Cypher, who shows him a mobile phone. I remember, we're all spoilers all the time, guys, so we're going to get spoiled into this quite quickly. Shows him a mobile phone with, at the time, we don't know what's on it, but this causes him to go rogue and go against the gang, and the gang are up against something that they've never been up against. They're up against Dominic Toretto. Ian, Fate of the Furious, what did you think?
I really, really liked Fate of the Furious. I'm a little shaky as to why it's getting a relatively mixed response, because yes, it doesn't have the emotional investment that Furious 7 kind of did naturally have to it, given what happened with Paul Walker. It does everything that you expect one of these films to do, even though I would suggest that I would prefer these films at this point if Vin Diesel wasn't in them. I'd be fine with the rest of the crew in it, but it kind of feels like Vin Diesel as producer, and then his production company's logo comes up at the start of the film for the first time in the franchise as well, One Race. It kind of, frankly, the Dom stuff is mainly him in a car or him trying to act. And I get... Oh, you alright?
Yeah, I lost you for a second there, but you're back.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying that, either he's driving or he's trying to act. And I would much rather see The Rock and Jason Statham escape from prison, or Jason Statham fight on an airplane carrying a baby car seat around. Or Tyrese and Ludacris just taking the piss out of each other. Or pretty much anything that's not Vin Diesel trying to emote. Because this is the thing. Because this franchise has always been about family. Well, or at least it has for like the last 3 or 4 films. And I get that, but it's not as fun as the other stuff. And I want more of the other stuff and less of Diesel. And it sounds like Diesel wants more of him and less than the other stuff, unless the other stuff also involves him from a behind the scenes point of view. And that, I from his personal point of view, yeah, I understand that. From a me point of view, more Stath, more The Rock, less Diesel. But it filled the time very nicely. I thought the third act worked really well. For once, it's a third act that goes really big, but I thought stuck the landing. Which, it doesn't happen a lot with big films, to be fair. I wonder where they go now, because apparently this is the start of another trilogy, and okay, so Cypher's going to be the big bad of the trilogy. But what do they do next? Like, the previous bad guys have teamed up with them. And, Dom's gone against his family. They can't do, like, one of them's killed and then they're out for revenge, because they already did that. What do they do now? Apart from space. Just put them in space. Put them in space. It's like, just go retarded. I think that's like properly full on retarded. I think that's all they can do now.
It wouldn't surprise you, though, would it?
No, and I would revel in it.
Yeah.
I don't need family. No, I'm done. I don't need that. Anyway, your thoughts?
I think it might be my favourite one.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, man.
I think it might be my favourite one.
I'm saying it's upper. Sorry, just to say, I'm saying it's upper middle tier, but I'm like 6, 7, and 8 are really mingling for me.
Yeah, they are. It's. I think you mentioned it that when this film is on. It is fucking on.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the opening race.
Yes.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a great nod to the series, essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially winking and saying, look, we haven't forgotten our roots. We're not what you think is gonna happen is we're not going too fucking serious. Later on, there's going to be a fucking submarine.
Yeah.
A submarine. We're going batshit. So here you go. It's bright, it's colourful, there's booties, there's bad guys, and I'm backwards and on fire.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to kind of settle in, and it's going to be a little bit like an espionage thriller for a while. But don't fucking worry. Later on, Statham's going to talk to a baby.
Yeah.
The prison break scene is fantastic.
Fuck, man, that tune that plays along with it, because it's F. Gary Gray who directed Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
So the audio side of this film is really spot on as well, and the way that it cuts to that fucking track is amazing.
Yeah, it is. There's a flair to it. And of course, he's Gary Gray directed Italian Job, I think, didn't he?
He did.
He did, yeah. And that's a fun movie.
Yeah,
it's a competently directed movie. The driving scenes in that remake are good. And he's worked with a lot of the people around this. It was a well directed movie. That was he added a definite playfulness. And he said, hang on a minute. He kind of almost looked at it and went, I don't think Jason Statham did enough Stathamism in Fury 7.
Yeah.
So we're going to give him a lot more kind of Stathaminess in this. And he got that. He got that in the prison break scene, where you also got a glorious... The worst thing that these movies could do, the Fast and Furious movies could do, is to start taking themselves seriously.
Yeah.
They haven't. You've got Hobbs being essentially almost an otherworldly fucking character. He's verging on being supernatural in the fact that he's getting shot with plastic bullets and just going, plastic bullets? Really? And just walking into them as if they're nothing. And can I just say, I've been shot with a beanbag bullet before, and it fucking hurts.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm a tough man. I'm not a tough man. I actually genuinely thought I'd been shot when I got shot with a plastic bullet. And it hurts. And let's be honest, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, me. I don't think what hurts me barely even fucking touches Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But that's from point blank range. And I'm guessing that they're a lot more powerful than what I was shot with. So it's glorious, the fact that he's just walking into it. And then you get the scene of the three guys stood there and he's just battering rams through them. It was wonderful. Then you've got Kurt Russell, who just looks like a guy who was 5 years ago was, for all intents and purposes, was retired.
Yeah.
Who now is cropping up, and it's like he's showing up for a few days. He gets himself and he's just having fun. He's kind of almost like Kurt Russell a few years ago when, hang on a minute, I'm Kurt fucking Russell.
Yeah.
And he's been sat there on the beach with Goldie Hawn and gone, should I be making more of the fact that I'm Kurt fucking Russell? And she's gone, yeah. And he's gone, all right. Picked up the phone with his agent and gone, hey, agent, I'm Kurt fucking Russell. Give me some Kurt fucking Russell rolls. Put the phone down, and then just, this has happened, and Guardians has happened, and other stuff will happen. It's glorious. I also thought that Charlize Theron was brilliant as the big bad.
Yeah, I thought she was solid, man.
She
like
was.
very threatening. Like you never. It was like, yeah, she could totally kill that kid.
Yeah. Yeah, if she wanted to, she could shoot that kid in the face and not give a shit.
Yeah.
I liked that. I also like the fact that she was a bit mad, that she got angry. She also seemed to really enjoy the fact that she was playing with a submarine.
Yeah.
Why not?
Even though the hack counter hack was a bit. It was a bit 90s. It
was a little bit. It was a little bit. I'm going to say things and I'm going to type at the same time. I'm saying these things and I'm typing and I'm basically explaining what I'm doing. Who are you explaining it to? Literally, Letty is getting the shit beaten out of her by an Eastern European, and you are just fucking telling her what you're doing. Why don't you hurry up and do it?
But I mean, they even gave Michelle Rodriguez some good physical shit to do in this one as well. You know, I mean, they act on people's strengths here, which is just really. They know what they're doing. These things are. They almost, in a way, they kind of make themselves now. It's just input. Outlandish scene here, plus Tyrese and Ludacris taking the piss out of each other, plus Vin Diesel growling about family equals Fast and Furious film. But
it's like they all sat around with Chris Morgan and we went, right, we've done a plane, yep. We've done a safe, yep. What next? Submarine? We can't do submarines.
They have to do a rocket next.
They have to do a rocket or something. It has to be something like that. But it's just like, we can't do a submarine. I'd get a submarine. Like, we're Fast and Furious. Watch us.
Yeah, straight
You know, do you know what? The one directorial mistake that F. Gary Gray made in that movie was when Dwayne Johnson is hanging outside of the big fucking thing that he's in, and the torpedo's there. He should have punched it.
That would have been better.
He should have punched the torpedo. Why didn't he punch the torpedo?
Yeah, you're right.
He should have just pushed it. He should have hung out and just hit the torpedo.
Yeah. No, fair. That's fair.
And can I also make a very bold claim?
Go on.
Is Jason Statham now the best action hero, proper old school fucking action hero of all time?
That is a bold claim.
Who else is there?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I suppose in terms of the fact that, like, the hand-to-hand stuff he does just as well, if not better than the gunplay stuff. So, yeah, alright. I mean, I think you might have some people maybe more versed in Asian action. Maybe.
There's Asian action there. Alright, Western start.
But I think Western, you might be onto something.
Yeah, and it's a good kind of subject made there, the definition made there. In terms of Western, so I'm throwing out people like Stallone, who I love, but I'm going to throw him out there as action hero, and I'm going to throw in Van Damme, Schwarzenegger, and fucking Dudikov, and all these type of people. And then when you look at it, and you look at the amount of movies that makes, when you actually go back and look at it, for Schwarzenegger, in terms of action star, there's actually not as much as you'd think. Same for Stallone. Van Damme, there's loads, but the majority of it is absolute fucking bobbins. And, you know, there's other ones that are our favourites that are there, but they're not at the same level as Statham when you actually look at the amount he's done that has just been purely fucking entertaining. And that scene of him with the baby going around, I thought was fantastic. I thought it was absolute vintage Statham at the absolute top of his game.
I think you could maybe argue that it feels like it's from a completely different film than the one you're watching. But
you could.
I really, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it. But it kind of feels like, shit, why is there this 5-minute Statham film in the middle of a Fast and Furious film?
But I suppose it's because somebody's got to go get the baby.
No, I understand that. From a plot point of view, I understand it, but like almost tonally, it feels like, because they're obviously like referencing Hard Boiled and whatnot. It feels like it just feels like a short film within a Fast and Furious film, whereas Statham's other interactions in the whole thing feel more like what you expect. Like, excuse me, him and The Rock breaking out. Fine, that feels of a piece. Him, and also considering the fact that Deckard Shaw in Fast 7 is like a sociopathic, I will stop at nothing to kill these people, and now he's making sure Vin Diesel's baby is safe. There's a bit of cognitive dissonance there, I think.
Yes, they flipped him for the next 2 movies.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, because I just want to see more Statham in these films. But it's weird that they end Fast 7 on like him being put into Supermax essentially, and then it's like, right, okay, so what's gonna happen now? But then after Paul Walker went, it's almost like they had to get some replacement
white guy
with the good guys. Yeah, I mean, like, because Scott Eastwood ain't gonna cut it. Like, if he's not in the next one, that's fine.
I thought he was all right.
He was fine, but, you know.
He was bad. But I think that... Do you know what? I'll say for him, he's a good sport because he is literally used as a foil for them to bounce jokes off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so...
You know, and for a guy who, probably doesn't need the money, but kind of wants to be... He seems to want to be a certain kind of actor. And... It kind of hasn't really worked for him yet. And then to have the first thing you do in this big sort of franchise that you're trying to get your name in, and you're trying to be, you know, the one who's going to get picked up for the next one, is getting picked up and slammed into a wall sideways by Dwayne Johnson is you've got to be a good sport to go along with that, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, for sure. I mean, that bit was fucking brilliant as well.
What did you think to the Helen Mirren being Statham's mum?
Loved it. Sorry, loved it. Just like, you got until I finish this cup of tea, and I'm fucking thirsty. That was fine.
Yeah, for that to be the one F-bomb that you could get in this movie kind of felt
Shit,
right.
You're right, it was as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 12A, you get one F-bomb.
Cracking F-bomb then. You know, like that's that's up there with the all-time F-bombs. That is.
With Wolverine, fuck off.
Yeah. Or was it go fuck yourself?
Go fuck yourself, yes, that was it.
That was good. It's just, like, is she going to be in the next ones? Because it feels so weird getting Helen Mirren in to do, 2 scenes?
Well, apparently it was, she asked Vin Diesel.
Really?
Apparently she asked Vin Diesel and said, I'd love to be in those movies in some capacity, doesn't need to be in a big capacity, but... It looks fun. I'd like to be part of that world.
Well, fine. And, you know, you've even got Luke Evans in there because why the fuck not? You know,
it does seem to be a franchise where it's. I mean, I was talking to Exploit today and saying that it's such an important franchise in movies, which is really, really fucking weird.
It is weird, isn't it? But you're right, yeah.
Because in a time where everybody is, rightly or wrongly, I'm going to put it out there, is constantly fucking crowing about diversity in cinema, etc. You've got a movie here where you have a racially diverse cast, which is leaning very much more towards having black actors in it than white actors to an extent, which isn't a problem, not criticism, but you've got leaning towards that, which is cool. The female characters are not just there to be laid out. They actually have their work to do. They actually have their jobs, and it's all there. Everybody is dragged down by their relationship to somebody else. You know, everybody is the same. You can't just say, oh no, Letty's hindered by her love for Dom. Well, Dom's hindered by his love for Letty, and all over the place. The whole movie is based around people. You know, everybody in its failing is the fact that they're all very close. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You know, the only criticism that you might end up getting for this is, well, when we get a female director? That is the only criticism that those people are going to be able to throw at it at some point. And who knows? You know, they haven't announced who's going to be directing the next one, I don't think, have they?
No, they haven't yet. No, I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, like, you've got the highest grossing debut for an African American director with this one as well. You know, and James Wan did, and Justin Lin did the previous ones. So that's the thing. It's just, if I think there are, you know, other franchises and areas can take the weight of representation at this point. I think Fast and Furious has probably done enough. You know, if it continues, if the next one were directed by Catherine Bigelow, then, you know, great. You know, I mean, like, fuck, if it was directed by Karen Kusama or something, you know, equally, why not?
Yeah, it's the thing is with directors, they go for directors who aren't going to take it in too serious a direction, I think, and that's right. Like you say, they go for directors who are competent directors who can bring a little bit of themselves to it and a little bit of their flair to it, but whilst also saying, look, you've got the fucking building blocks. All you need to do is fucking put them together and create the next movie. You need to have this, 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 and all of these bits, and then there you go, we've got a movie. You put them together, and you can put a little few bits, you can paint them in whatever fucking colour you want, as long as they're all in there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Sorry, Knowles sent us a review, and I was just getting up. No, that's exactly it. And I mean, it's so fucking weird that these films are what they are, like, culturally and from a box office point of view now. I mean, it's great. Yes. And I used to be so fucking shitty about these films. Like, I really, really was. And I will say, I still think that Fast 5 is really overrated. I like Fast 5, but people still seem to hold it up as the high watermark for the series, and I don't see it.
I suppose it's because, I think the reason for that is because it took everybody by surprise.
Oh, no, yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think it was because it was almost the fucking, to coin the fucking what is it phrase, it was almost the ride or die for the series of films. Sure. Was, if that one didn't fucking land, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And so they took a few more chances and they went, right, we're going to go in a different direction, we're going to go a bit fucking stupid, and we're going to get really indulgent. And that worked. And they found they struck gold with that. And all they're doing now is they're just mining that gold and just keeping fucking going. And, you know, as long as it keeps producing, that's it. You know, at the end of the day now, the idea was that they announced after 7, I think it was it after 6, that there was going to be 10.
So 6, I think it was, yeah.
There's 8 now, and then in 2 years' time there's 9, and in 2 years after that there's 10, and that'll be 20 years, I believe, from the first one.
Yep.
And that'll be it. They're going to box it off as 10 and say, bang, there we go, we've done 10. That's the idea. Whether or not we'll get to 10 and go, hang on a minute, it still fucking works. What do we do?
It's just, you've got to wonder, are they not all going to be maybe starting to get on a bit? Yeah. That's
the other thing. 10 will be amazing. If they get to 10 and maintain this level, and you look back at it and go, fucking hell, is Tokyo Drift really the worst film out of these 10 movies? Because Tokyo Drift is a bit shit, but it's still fun enough.
I think Fast and Furious is the worst of them. Or unless I don't know, maybe I did say Tokyo Drift. I probably did say Tokyo Drift.
You did say Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, but Fast and Furious is still... I mean, that film was just CGI all over the fucking place, and I don't know, it was like... They still hadn't quite rebooted in the way that Fast 5 does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I still really, really like Furious 7. I really, really like Furious 7. But this is up there. This is definitely up there.
Well, I might rewatch Furious 7 again soon.
The thing about Furious 7 is that The Rock's not in it enough because of scheduling. You know, like, and that's what it
was it?
That's what it was. You know, they have him like holed up in hospital for most of it because of scheduling conflicts. I think he might have been doing San Andreas around that time. So it's F6 I really like as well. You know, it's probably a notch below 7 and 8 for me. But yeah, I think these last 4 are definitely the best.
Oh, without question, yeah.
You know, and long may it continue. Definitely not shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely not shit on this as well. Our audience poll was definitely not shit 75%, touching cloth 0%, and shit 25%.
Oh, come on now. Right, and shall we do Noel's review?
Yes.
Right, I'm going to hold it up to the mic. We'll see how well this goes. If it's shit, then I'll just put it in the...
you drop it in, yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, gentlemen. It's Noel here. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight. As you both know, we recently had our second child, and our first child has become incredibly difficult to manage as a result. So we've also got visitors this weekend. My brother-in-law and his girlfriend are here, so it's all a bit mental in our house at the moment. But I did want to just drop you a quick line, because we had talked about me popping by to talk with you about Fast and Furious 8, or Fate of the Furious, as the much better title, which hasn't been used in the UK for some reason. Because I did find a little bit of time this week when my mum was looking after Charlie to just sneak out and go and watch some cars exploding. I really felt like I kind of needed it. It's been a busy old couple of weeks. I would go straight out of the gate and say it's definitely not shit, so there's that. It's like most of the other post-Tokyo Drift Fast and Furious films. It is a really exciting and kind of silly action heist adventure. I love all of the Fast and Furious films, as I know you know. I tend to think of them in two separate ways. I tend to think of the sort of the first 3 and then the sort of post-Tokyo Drift era. And of those, of that sort of era, the post sort of Tokyo Drift era, the sort of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know quite where I would rank it. I know Ian on Twitter has kind of said that it's middle upper tier. I think of the last movies, of the last sort of 4 movies, it's at the bottom of the ladder for me.
Ooh.
But if we're sort of summing up the whole franchise, I would put it straight down the middle. It's got a lot of the action that you want. It's got a lot of the things that you want from a Fast and Furious movie, but it does feel a bit plodding at times. the last two in particular have really amped things up and really gone crazy and been unapologetically stupid at times. And there was something about this one that just felt like it was at points taking itself just a touch too seriously. I really enjoyed The Rock in it. I really, really enjoyed Jason Statham. I was so delighted that they made better use of him this time around. One of the frustrations with the last film was that Statham just kind of kept popping up randomly and not really having too much of an effect on things. Whereas in this film, you got the prison sequence, which was absolutely fantastic. You've got the aeroplane sequence with the baby carrier, which honestly is one of the best things I've ever seen in a Fast and Furious movie. And yeah, it's it's great because of those two. I think the sort of side characters, the ludicrous, the I forget the guy's name now. The other dude, the ludicrous character, the girl from Hollyoaks, I forgot her name. I'm not very good at remembering actors' names, you know this. But yeah, the sort of side characters, I didn't think any of them particularly shined. They're just kind of there to provide, the extra hands a lot of the time. But really, it's the Rock and Statham show, which kind of surprises me a little bit because, as you rightly pointed out to me, and apart from the plot, Vin Diesel doesn't have a great deal to do, and to be honest with you, a lot of the time he's just kind of walking around, and even in some of the sort of bigger action scenes where Charlize Theron has kind of is specifically using him to do certain things, there were moments where I was sort of questioning it and going, well, why did she need him to do this? I think the moment in particular is where they organise that entire car sequence in the city and all the cars are being thrown around, and it's all for the purpose of pinning down that sort of politician in that limousine, and then you've got Vin Diesel just sort of shows up in a sort of almost superhero-esque outfit and cuts the car open and threatens to blow it up with the TNT. That could have been anyone. There was no real reason that had to be specifically Dom.
Could have been old ginger scammy looking guy, couldn't it, actually?
It's funny. There's moments where I wonder why Vin Diesel is not taking a back seat, but just he's in the front seat, but he doesn't really feel like he's getting to do a lot of the fun stuff, and that surprises me. Whereas Statham and The Rock, they get to do a lot of the fun stuff. So overall, I enjoyed it. As I say, it did what I needed it to do for me. I hope that the future installations get back to being a little less self-conscious and a little more stupid, because that's what I want and that's what I like. But all in all, it's another great entry in a franchise that continues to entertain. So yeah, hope you have a good show. Sorry I can't be there once again. I was really kind of looking forward to digging into Peppa Pig, my first cinema experience with Ian, which unfortunately I will now not get to do. But until next time, and when I say next time, I mean the next Marvel movie.
2 weeks.
I will speak to you soon.
2
Bye-bye.
weeks.
Nice one.
Thank you much for that, Nell.
Yeah, I think that came out okay. So, yeah, I mean, he makes a point there, actually. Like, why did she need Dom to do all this stuff? Even though, then again, it is kind of established later on that Dom had basically fucked up her plans over the last couple of films, because she was like the big bad behind them. Like, so she was behind Jimon Honsu and behind Luke Evans. So she's kind of putting him through all this shit. To put him through all this shit, basically. Oh, hello?
Hello.
Yeah. So
Get out for a second there, but yeah.
Yeah, she's putting him through all that stuff to put him through it all, because like he fucked her over in the last couple of films, basically. So it I suppose it kind of makes sense from that point of view, but yeah, that New York sequence was fucking mental.
Yeah, it was yeah. It was strange. Cool. Right, so Ian, what have you been watching this past week?
So yeah, I've got a few things. What can we talk about quickly? So we're going to talk about Need for Speed next week, aren't we?
We are, yes, because I just didn't. I got half of it watched.
Oh, that's cool. No worries. So I very quickly, I'll just say I watched Blue Streak for some reason because it was on Netflix. Martin Lawrence film from the early noughties, maybe.
Yes, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was late 90s, but certainly early noughties. I think it was fine. I don't really know why I watched it, to be honest, but it's not hateful or anything. I watched the Hatton Garden Job.
Oh yes.
So out on VOD this weekend, this past week, and full disclosure, I know the writers, Dean and Ray. So
yes,
there's that going in. Dean and Ray are friends of Noel's, I believe. And like I kind of know Dean particularly through Noel, and he's a good dude.
He's a nice guy.
Proper fucking cinephile, that guy. That going in. It's not perfect. There's a written review on Vodzilla. I believe it's essentially a 6 out of 10. So there's that. The thing is, it's exactly what you think it is. It's, except, you would kind of think it's going to be all like, you fucking slag, get down here and make my fucking dinner, you fucking, oi, you fucking coconut, I'm going to fucking do ya. It's not that. It's more chill than that, I think, mainly because it's basically about a bunch of older guys who did the Hatton Garden Job a couple of years back. So essentially, Matthew Good is the person who kind of put it all together. He's bankrolled by a bunch of generic Eastern Europeans led by Jolie Richardson. It's fun to see her as an Eastern European mob boss, though. It is just fun. And he's basically the guy who never got caught. So the rest of them who did get caught, it's Clive Russell, Phil Daniels, Larry Lamb, and another guy whose name I can't remember. Apologies. And it's basically an episode of Hustle with Guy Ritchie, late 90s, early noughties sensibility. But I watched it on Good Friday. I didn't want anything demanding, and I had a decent time with it. It's not a world shaker, but it's less aggressive than a lot of this kind of stuff is. I got behind the characters from a film point of view, not talking about the real world, but from a film point of view, I got behind them. I thought Matthew Good and Jolie Richardson added a bit of class there, and Phil Daniels and Larry Lamb are kind of doing what you expect those two particular actors to do. And I had fun with it. Like I say, it's certainly not perfect. It's derivative as fuck. But I certainly think that Dean and Ray knew what they were writing, and for the subject matter that they had, I think they did as well as could be expected. So there you go. Good on them. They got a fucking film made, and I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to catching it. Just because, like you say, I've conversed with Dean several times on Twitter over the sort of past 6 or 7 years. I've met him a couple of times. Had a beer with him. He's a really nice guy.
Really good dude, yeah.
And he chats his movies really quite well. I met Ray a few times as well. So I don't know him as well as I know Dean, but it's cool when you kind of when you've people who you've spoken to and you've had you can call it a friendship, I think, nowadays. Even though you do speak to mostly online. It's cool when they fucking nail something and they get something made, and it's had mixed reviews, I think would be fair to say, but it's a film that is of that budget and is getting that release is always going to get just mixed reviews.
It's just It's basically what you think it's going to be, but like I say, I think it's a decent version of that. But you take your preconceptions going in, and yeah, they're just going to fit the bill there, and it's. If the thing is, if I didn't like it, I actually would have said I don't want to review this because I don't want to badmouth people I like. I'm not a full-time film reviewer. It's not something where I have to worry about like connections in the industry or any shit like that. But I'm being 100% honest. If I didn't like it, I would talk about it on this show and say I didn't like it. But I wouldn't have a review published online saying I didn't like it because I like those guys.
Yeah.
But
Fair enough.
but I genuinely liked the film. It's not a world beater. It's like I say, it's got problems, but it's a very easy watch.
Cool. I'll look forward to getting into it this week.
Yeah,
I mean, I was hoping to get to it this week, but just this week's passed me by, we'll say.
And well, no, quite. Yeah, I mean, you're a busy dude. So I also watched. Fuck me, shit is slipping. The fuck did I watch? I watched 2 films on Friday and 2 films on Saturday. I watched Need for Speed and Furious Fast and Furious 8 yesterday. I watched Hatton Garden Job and Rogue One. I rewatched Rogue One.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Which I like Rogue One. I like it. That's about what I've got to say there. I think that it maybe goes on a bit long. Michael Giacchino's score towards the end, he has to do the kind of losty kind of fucking sounding slow piano stuff, and it takes me out of it because it's an episode of Lost. It really he's got a bag of tricks as Giacchino, and he seems to pull them out in every single fucking thing he does now, and it really bothers me. It's like Star Trek, the start of Star Trek, where the first one, where Chris Hemsworth is basically off to his death. The music is lost. It's lost. And the music at the end of Rogue One, where they're going to their deaths, it's lost. It's not Star Wars, it's lost. And the rest of it actually is quite Star Warsy. But then you got Lost. It takes me out of it. It's a film where I kind of would have liked to have seen the original vision before the reshoots. There's a sense that shit is kind of all like slightly bolted together with this film, which is weird for a Star Wars film. It's say what you want about the films, they feel like the visions of the filmmakers. This feels like slightly committee. You've got the dark ending, but you've also got Alan Tudyk's like sarcastic droid, and the fan baiting references and stuff. It's a bit. I know you really, really like Rogue One. I'm not quite as high on it. I think it's a solid 4 out of 5, and I would more dip below that than go above it. If I was kind of reaching, but it's still a very good film, and the Vader bit at the end is amazing. The CG characters as well, like, it doesn't bother you as much on a small screen, I will say that, but fuck me if they just had the Peter Cushing character like just be that reflection in that one scene, it would have been lovely. They have to have him walking around and talking and over gesticulating. Like, it's something like the mouth is rubbery and the movements are robotic, and it doesn't work. And the Carrie Fisher bit at the end, I said it beforehand, the eyes just seem a bit big to me. And maybe that's just me, but like apparently Kathleen Kennedy, the producer and the president of Lucasfilm, they were like, we only would have done this if the technology was absolutely right, and it's like it's not right yet. It's not. I mean, the K2SO, Alan Tudyk's character, like he looks like he's there. You know, it's easier to do that with CG robots than it is CG actual living things.
Absolutely, yeah, because there's the
uncanny
you expect
valley
it to look out, yeah.
You know, you've got that element of artificiality that's just expected. But yeah, no, I mean, like the Grand Moff Tarkin, I think he's called, Peter Cushing's character. He's on screen too much, man. Just be that reflection. I remember in the cinema seeing it was that reflection. It was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and starts walking. It's like, oh no.
I remember you saying the same thing when you watched it.
And it doesn't look as bad as on a small screen because it's a smaller screen, but the bits are still there. You know, it's not great. But yeah, Rogue One, it's fine. I mean, Felicity Jones is very good in it. The cast are all very good. It actually feels like a film of compromise at points. And especially when you look at the marketing as well. Like, I watched the Honest Trailers thing of Rogue One after rewatching it, and just the amount of shit in the pre-release marketing, the shots and lines and stuff that aren't in the finished products. I know that happens a lot. You know, Peter Jackson's King Kong, there was a bit where they hear Kong roar when they've only just landed, which it's Naomi Watts doing a practice scream, and then he does his roar, and that's not in the film. I remember that from back in the day. But it's the marketing campaign had loads of shit that is not in the finished film, and it's just like, well, where is that stuff then? I mean, fuck, man. Forrest Whitaker had a completely different haircut in some of the stuff in the marketing, and his character is not around long enough to get a haircut in that fucking film. So yeah,
he's not that long, is he?
No. So there you go. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I've got a bit of a cold. I've just got one last thing.
Yeah.
The Void.
Oh yes, you watched this, didn't you?
Yeah. Kind of wish I didn't. So it's on VOD now. I rented it off iTunes. So I was going to go see this at LFF until I missed my train. But hey, kind of glad I didn't. Seeing this in the cinema would have been fucking horrible. This film's really grim. It's really fucking horrible. And
in a good way or a bad way?
Yeah, I mean, in an impressive way. It's body horror, which
yeah, you don't like body horror, do you?
Is my I don't like it. Me no likey. So I'll say that going in. If you're not as bothered by body horror, you'll have a better time with it. So story is a killing happens in a house, and a guy runs away, and people are chasing after him. And the guy basically walks up onto a road where a sheriff is, and the guy's all bloodied up, and the sheriff takes him to a hospital. Once they're there, weird shit starts going down. Very quickly a person starts turning into something else, and a bunch of white-cladded people with triangles on their on their costumes where faces should be start rocking up, and then shit gets more body horror-y. I'll leave it there. So it's kind of like 80s Carpenter meets 80s Cronenberg, which is gonna do it for a lot of people, you know. And I mean, it's impressive in its grimness, but I didn't have a very nice time watching it. I felt really fucking weirded out by it, and I'll be honest, I was looking at Twitter on my phone, so I didn't have to look at the screen in parts. And it's got a bit of Barber chucked in there. There's massive doses of Prince of Darkness in there. You know, there's some Videodrome-y kind of shit going on. It's rough. I think you would enjoy it. Like, the effects look like they're all practical and they're really impressive. I wouldn't begrudge a sequel, but I wouldn't watch it. It's one of those ones where I can appreciate it, but I don't really ever want to think about it again. And that's just because it's the shit that weirds me out. It's why I'll never watch Slither again.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
That fucking film, man. Just thinking about that film makes me feel ill. And it's not about the quality of the film. It just is what it is. But yeah, this thing would fucking murder at Fright Fest. It's a higher tier. It's a higher quality Fright Fest film. I don't know what I would give it though, personally. Just because the narrative is fairly derivative. The actual plot is no great shakes, but some of the visuals on screen are really quite striking. And like, fuck, man, Lottie was asleep on the sofa next to me while I was watching it, and she fucking woke up at one bit. I'm so glad she didn't see the screen at the bit I paused it at. Like, because Donna walked in as well, and she was like, "What the fuck are you watching?" Yeah, and it was like one of those kinds of things.
Yeah,
it's grim. You'll like it.
Good. I love grim.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. I'll fire through the few that I've watched then. So while you were watching Blue Streak, I was rewatching Cop Out. I'm the only human alive that's watched Cop Out 4 times.
Yep.
I think it's 4. I think I have to admit it's 4. I like Cop Out. The more I watch it, the more I like it. And I am, without question, the only person alive that likes Cop Out. Because even none of the cast even like it. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense at all. You can literally hear the fact that Bruce Willis hates it in every scene he's in, and he's in pretty much every single scene. But yeah, I still thoroughly enjoyed Cop Out. I was watching it going, shit, I'm laughing. Okay, I'm laughing again. Why am I laughing at this? Why am I still laughing? Oh, Christ. I'm a terrible human. So there was that. I watched Nerve.
Oh, what do you think?
Emma Robertson, Dave Franco movie. It's weird because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is. But
it's really, really fucking stupid in the sense of the actual central plot of Nerve is that there's this online game. For anyone who doesn't know, there's this online game, and you log into it, and you choose to be a watcher, where you can watch what's happening in the game, or you can be a player. And if you're a player, essentially what happens is you get given dares, and the dares, you gain a financial reward for dares, but the dares go up, and they get more daring, and the more daring they get, the more money you get, and the dares are chosen by the viewers in some way, which is kind of not really explained how it's kind of chosen or anything like that. And Emma Roberts' character gets kind of almost emotionally manipulated into playing this game by her seemingly best friend who is playing the game, who kind of shames her into it. Dave Franco's already playing it, but there's something about him, and it also goes through the standard kind of fucking channels. I actually really, I enjoyed it. I got easily enough out of it to make it worth the 95 minutes that it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's I think it's a fun film, man. Like,
I think it is. Yeah. It's
go on.
Like something like The Purge, whereby, I mean, I didn't like The Purge, but The Purge, the theory of The Purge is, Nerve makes perfect sense if you just watch it and all you ingest is what's going on. Don't think about it outside of the world that it's giving you, because the minute you do, it's a house of fucking cards, and it just all fucking falls down. But I don't see why you would, because it's actually quite a lot of fun spending time with Emma Roberts and Dave Franco. They're quite entertaining to spend time with. It works. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I could see me watching it again, to be honest.
Very good. Yeah, no, I think I would as well.
Yeah, and some of the if it was 106 minutes, I probably wouldn't, but it's not. It's 96 minutes.
Yes.
I rewatched Knocked Up because I'd not seen it in a long time after watching Superbad.
How did that go? Okay.
I decided to give it another go. Now, I didn't like Knocked Up that much when I first watched it. I found it to be a little bit... it was too long. It is still too long.
It's well over 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 hours 10, which for a comedy is too long. They're all really quite young in it. Like, really young in it. And they've all got their own names in it.
Yeah, that's right, they do, don't they?
And the idea is that they're making a website which essentially is Mr. Skin, but none of them have heard of Mr. Skin. And I think that was why I disliked it to an extent, was because it felt a little bit like they'd have heard of Mr. Skin.
Yeah.
They're stoners and they're stupid, but they're not that fucking stupid. Katherine Heigl in it, I remember thinking at the time, she plays it like too much of a bitch. But then you kind of find out that no, she just is a terrible person.
Yeah.
And Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann's characters are just fucking annoying in it. Bex was gobsmacked when I said to her toward the end of it, you know, they made a sequel to this. She's like, did they? I know that. I was like, yeah, they made a sequel to it, but it's just about Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann's characters when they're about to turn 40. And she's like, is that a This Is 40 movie? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That just, fuck off. That just sounds horrible. You're not going to be able to watch that, are you? I was like, we might watch it at some point soon.
What did you make of
what's it like?
Like, did you?
I was like, I hated it. And I hated This Is 40. It was just This Is shouting. But yeah, it's Knocked Up. I enjoyed it. It was okay. I bought it on iTunes for $3.99. I will probably not watch it for another 10 years, is what I'd say.
Yeah.
But I might watch it in 10 years' time. But it was alright. I also rewatched I Love You Man. Kind of bouncing around these. What is it? That holds up quite well.
Yeah.
It's under 2 hours long. It's quite pacey. There's bits in it that don't make sense, that kind of feel a little bit outside of it. The Andy Samberg being his gay brother and Jon Favreau being just a prick in it. Kind of, you don't really need those. They kind of feel a little bit like maybe there was more of them in it. And that was what would have made it a 2 hour long movie, and they cut it out quite rightly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It certainly works.
No, fair enough. No, that's good. Yeah, I'd like to rewatch that at some point.
And finally, I don't know if I've got a couple left. We watched Pulp Fiction just because I hadn't watched it in a few years, and Bex hasn't watched it in a few years, and she was really jonesing to give it a rewatch, and it's Pulp Fiction, so why not give it a rewatch? And I think I mentioned briefly while we were talking about Sunshine, it's the first time when I've watched it and gone, wow, this movie really was only made for $8 million. That's insane. Because at points, you know, it's a fantastic movie. It's a 5-star movie. The acting's fantastic. The story is brilliant. It looks great. But there are little bits where you look at it and go, holy shit, this is like a really low budget movie. This is insane.
Yeah.
And it is insane. Because there's certain, you can pick it out at certain points that this is they didn't have the budget to do more.
Well, yeah, no, I mean it's very setty, isn't it? There's not an awful lot that actually happens kind of outside, and you know when it does,
and the bits that do
its projection and stuff like that. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, and the car crash where
Vince
smashes into
the truck.
That, and then the little chasing they have that looks pretty low budget. Like they literally went, right, makeup, right, Bruce, run now quickly, we've got the fucking permit to be on the street, so run. I did that. And finally, I rewatched Daybreakers.
I like that flick. Yeah. Spearing Brothers, isn't it? Yeah.
Spearing Brothers, yeah. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's fun. It's an interesting take on vampires. That vampires have kind of become it's Planet of the Apes but with vampires, essentially. And the fact that the Speary brothers have kind of gone to it and gone, we're gonna do this, we can do this, and then people have said, no, that's not how vampires work, and they've gone, they're not fucking real.
Yeah, well, yes, quite. And a very good point that is too.
Yeah, they can't think, but they can't. Well, they can't do this. I don't give a shit. We're going to do it because that's the point of having something like this. You can interpret it however the fuck you want.
Yes.
And they do. They come up with a cure for it that makes no sense but makes sense. It's fun. There's a lot of really interesting shit going on. And again, it was made for $20 million, and it looks bigger budget than it is. It uses their knowledge of effects really quite well, and it also it uses clever locations well. A clever location and writing your idea around a clever little set can save you millions.
Sure. Quite
literally millions. And that's what clever filmmakers do. They, people who aren't going to get $100 million, they go, right, I need this to look like this. Right. Does anyone know where we can find one of these? Yeah, I think we can get one of these. That's it. It's clever filmmaking. It makes sense, and that's what you've got here. I thoroughly enjoyed my rewatch of that. But that's what I watched this week. I've also, with work and everything, been quite busy and having to do crazy amount of hours. I've kind of not had 2 hours to watch movies. I've had like 45-minute blocks to watch stuff, so I've watched a lot of fucking TV. I watched a lot of one TV show. I've blasted through almost the entire first 2 series. No, I've blasted through the first 2 series, I think now, of Silicon Valley in the run-up to the fact that the new series starts in a week.
It's a good show, that.
It is a good show. That fucking show holds up so well. So that's what I've watched this week. We do have a couple of questions, actually.
Yeah, we've actually got a couple of emails as well. What do you want to do first?
You can do the emails first, then we'll do the questions to close.
So Steve Dixon has sent quite the email, actually. It's a long one, and that's all good. Hi there, Ian and Mark. Sorry for the late email. I had planned to send you something for your 200th show, but laziness and life have got in the way. That's all right. That's always.
We appreciate that. Yeah.
Anyway, just wanted to say thank you to you both for keeping me entertained on my travels with your movie chat and wonderful tangents. Have to hand it to you both for keeping the podcast consistent and regular for so many years. There's probably not much reward for doing the podcast, and it's just down to your love of films that keep you doing it. For this, I have to give you both a lot of respect and a big well done. Keep up the good work, it is much appreciated. Podcasts are great for my daily job driving around Scotland every day. It means I don't have to listen to the radio filled with idiots talking rubbish about things that don't interest me, shite, bad news, and politics only anger you and dampen your days. I've not heard the news for years, and I'm quite a happy person as a result. Indeed, I get to listen to people like myself talking about things that I love and I'm passionate about. I listen to loads of podcasts during the week, and Doing the Monkey is one of the ones that I most look forward to. Since Ian's Cinerama days, I've always enjoyed his chat and passion for cinema. Mark has been a great addition and added a whole lot of more fun to my listening over the years. A few questions for you. I have a wee girl called Chloe, who has just turned 4 and is starting to love the cinema too. Since becoming a dad, it changed the way I've watched a lot of films. Yeah, fucking tell me about it, bud. Films such as Interstellar and The Fault in Our Stars really bothered me. In the old days, these films wouldn't have had anywhere near the same effect. As you are both dads, do you find you watch films with a whole different view as a result? Just on that, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Mark doesn't, because he's a cold-hearted bastard. But
I am, yes. We actually, weirdly enough, we actually kind of spoke about this, I think, yesterday maybe on WhatsApp, where we were talking, myself and Noel, I think also Mike was involved in it, was saying that the type of movie you watch changes, and sort of the prestige think piece films kind of take a little bit of a back seat because, you know, you've got so much else going on in your world that you can, that those movies, you need to be in a mood for those. A lot of the time, you literally just want to sit and watch something that you can let fucking waft over you and have that escapism, I think. I know that Ian does kind of joke, but it is the The whole fucking... I spend more time wishing children were killed more in movies than getting upset about the fact that they...
Okay. So he also says, I was curious as to how many downloads of the show you get every week, and has it grown in numbers over the years? We get... I mean, like, to be fair, Mark never asks.
Don't.
So... No, I mean, I look at it every now and then because I put up the I edit and put up the podcast, and I think I'm just gonna have a look at like where it is at the moment. The thing is, I wonder how many like bots and stuff download us, but I don't know if that's a thing. But like March, we had 1,050 downloads. February, we had 1,113. This month so far we've had 752, which is probably nothing compared to a lot of podcasts. But for instance, the Sunshine Commentary got 147 downloads. Even though the episode the week beforehand 98, but then the episode before that 125. So it's kind of all over the fucking place.
It is, yeah. And I don't think that includes certain... I don't think that includes all of the relevant places it goes out to.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, because it made me laugh that, like, the episode titled Triple Exploitation was, like, quite a high... I remember that being quite a high download. I want to see if I can get how many that actually did, but that made me laugh. Oh, fuck me. I mean, we started... Episode 1 in its lifetime has had 267. Oh, episode 0, sorry. Episode 1 actually had 309. I want to see how many Triple Exploitation got, because that made me laugh that it was quite a jump. Yeah, 232. So yeah, I mean, I mean, like, historically, well over 100 an episode seems to be the thing, which is nice.
Yep.
It's, I mean, that'll do.
Yeah.
There's obviously people listening. I mean, over the lifetime of the show, 35,452.
I'll take that.
Which divided by 200 episodes equals not too shabby.
Yeah, we'll take that.
That's fine.
We do little to no promotions.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, we got the Twitter thing, but, aside from that, it's, we don't ask for iTunes reviews these days, really. I mean, like, we do it more, I think, just to kind of have a couple of hours just to chat about films than anything else.
That's it, yeah. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so do I. God, yeah, so do I. Yeah, of course. No, I mean, like, if I didn't, then I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's like, no one's paying us.
Kind of stop kind of enjoying it and stop digging it. It is the time we'll kind of say to the other one, look, it's probably run its course, but I can't see it happening. We still...
No, genuinely, like, I don't really see that happening either. I mean, I think it's fair to say that I've, personally, I've become less kind of caught up with films and the film discussion community over the last few years, but I still enjoy talking about them. I prefer talking about them with you and our audience of however many people it is than putting my shit out there on Twitter and then just having people fucking moan.
Yep.
That's the thing. I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of like negative people who listen to this show probably just don't ever bother listening again, and more power to you. But I mean, we had one negative review on iTunes where it was like Ian Loring more like Ian Boring, which is insightful criticism. And that's about it really. It's, I don't want it just to be a jerking each other off exhibition. It's like, if anybody does ever have any problems with anything we say on the show, I would like to think that they would tell us, but they don't. And maybe it's because we don't go out there to people. So, like, if we started fucking like advertising the show places and we got new people listening, they'd probably be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I don't, personally, and I think I speak for you as well, we don't really want that. Just like the people who listen, we're more than happy them listening to us. And, if it entertains you for an hour and a half, 2 hours every week, then great.
Absolutely.
And it's just a chance for me to kick back and chat with Mark for a couple of hours a week, so it's fine by me. I mean, I'll be honest, if it was just Cinerama, I probably would have stopped it by now. But I very, very much value this time every week with Mark, and long may it continue.
Absolutely, I'm exactly the same. It's great that I get to chat for an hour and a half movies with my best mate. It's great.
Exactly that. Yeah, fucking amen to that, brother. So, okay, on to the next question. Have you considered doing a premium type show like the Film Junk lads do? Perhaps a good way to get a few quid and get some better recording equipment, as the sound quality is the only thing I would say could improve. I know for sure I would pay for some DAAM specials. Bless you, Steve. You would. I think fuck all other people would.
It's something we have actually we have considered and sort of
kind of have
chatting about. I think if the thing is, if the way that I've always looked at it is, if you start to charge people for it, you have to start to worry about getting out at a certain time and of a certain quality. And right now, we don't really have to worry about that. I would say the sound issues that are there is because I'm using a shitty mic and I need to get a new mic. It's as simple as that. So I will endeavour to do that in the next sort of few weeks, and that should kind of sort that out a little bit. Maybe we might look at investing in an actual a better recording software, maybe. Although you do.
Yeah, I mean, like in the end of the day, I mean, from a technical point of view, I will say that I use a Logitech USB mic. I use Audacity to import the files, and I use Levelator to do the levels. And why is that? Because I don't want to pay for any of it, and it's all free software. If there is software that someone could, or things I could be doing differently that people could recommend, I am way more than happy to fucking take that shit on. And have a look at it. I mean, like, I export the files at 96 kilobytes per second. I don't know if maybe exporting it at a higher bit rate would improve things. Maybe it would. I genuinely don't know. But yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, premium stuff, I don't think I would get time to do more than the show we do every week. I'm pretty sure Mark definitely wouldn't with the job that he does.
Not at the moment, no. The thing is, if we ever came up with a good enough idea of something to do maybe once a month, and we come up with a really fucking idea, we went, ooh, that's good, we might do it. So it's not something we're never going to consider, but it'll be something that if we come up with a choice idea, we will do. What we'd like to do, I think, in the future is do more, moving on, in the next year or 6 months, 2 years, whatever, is do more where we're fucking sat next to each other.
That'd be nice.
I'm.
And yeah, we had another technical problem there, and the rest of it didn't record. Apologies. Sorry, that's Lottie playing in the background. So yeah, we'll try and iron that shit out next week. But as we were kind of saying there, we're not adverse to the idea of doing premium content, but it wouldn't be anything that would ever replace the once a week show. But it's not something we're actively looking at. If anyone ever did want to donate to the show to pay, to help pay for shit, and if you tell us what to spend it on, then we'd be happy to accept that. We're not going to say no to money, but it's not anything we'd ever.
we'd ever particularly ask for specifically, I suppose, at least for the normal show. But if anyone wanted to show, like, to give some money over, then we're not going to say no. Like I say, if you just tweet me or Mark or whatever, then that would be fine. But we're not going to pressure anyone into it. Next week we're covering Unforgettable, the Katherine Heigl Rosario Dawson film, which I know Mark's pretty pumped for. And we're also going to cover Sandy Wexler, the Adam Sandler film, and the Discovery, the new one from Charlie McDonald, the guy who did The One I Love. They're both available on Netflix. So yeah, Unforgettable for sure. I'm halfway through Sandy Wexler because I'm a fucking idiot, but we'll talk about that next week. I shouldn't say that in front of Lottie. Apologies. She's not listening anyway. That's going to do it. Sorry for the technical trouble, and hope you enjoyed the show. Bye-bye. Lots, you got anything else to say?